say that all of this stuff, this box goes to Brandon, all of this box goes to Rita, and it's completely sorted for them, and it's so, so, so easy. And then also what I like to do is I love to close out the order before the end of the month. So in this case, I have them make sure that the orders are to me by June 1st, but I'm really going to close this party out on May the 31st because I should have all the orders before then anyway. So I'm going to close the party out on May 31st because that way I know my check will be here with their commission or with the money I'm getting ready to donate to them on the 10th. So I don't have to have them wait a whole nother month. Then it also gives me an opportunity to go and deliver all of their stuff, but also present them with a check. It's a check that's personally written from you because, of course, you get paid the commission on your debit card, on your Cincy card, and then you have to turn around and write the check out from you to the organization. So it's kind of fun. You know, you can take a picture, presenting your check to the organization. Again, it's another great way. You can snap that picture, write up a little blurb about it, and you can drop it in. There's a little box at the Mercury that they run little things like that all the time. So you can, it's again, name recognition out there, and it shows that you're helping and you're part of the community and you're helping blah blah. Okay, so now it's done, everything's delivered. You've got now 500 new customers that have just been turned in with this fundraiser. Also, it says in one of my letters, make sure that the order forms are filled out completely because the customer is no good to me if I don't have their address or phone number. If I just have a name, I don't want just a name. I want their full information so I can contact them later. Oh, sorry. Why would Tracy call in the middle of the team meeting? Anyway. So what you're going to do about 2 weeks after you have given all the stuff that's out of your house and the organization has it, about 2 weeks after you're going to want to contact the customer. Say, hi, I'm Tara, I'm your Cincy consultant, you just helped, or you just placed an order for the Phi Delta Chi sorority and helped us raise $700 for their Spring Fling Fund. You know, I was just calling to check in, see how you are loving your Cincy, and if there's anything else, if I can answer any questions for you, if there's anything else that you need from me. You know, just be personable, introduce yourself, and follow up, and then follow up. And then follow up. Because if you don't follow up, it's like throwing 500 customers in the trash. Because that is, again, the biggest payout of doing a fundraiser is that it gets you in contact with a bunch of other customers that maybe you don't necessarily know or you haven't ever talked to. So, so it presented quite a few pros on doing a fundraiser, but some cons. The cons is it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of communication, it takes a lot of organizing. So it is going to consume a part of your life if you choose to do a fundraiser, and the fundraiser becomes a big one. So be ready for that. Also, you have the cost of your supplies. So if you have 50 participants in it, and you order, which I guess the fundraising bundle is not too bad, but you're going to have to order extra order forms because there's not enough order forms in there. I'm guessing that my packet that I put together is at least a $3 packet. But I do, in one of the letters, it does say, you know, I will pick up unused packets. I don't want them to just throw them away. And I make that clear also when I'm talking to the head of the organization. I say, you know, we as consultants have to pay for our packets, so if you have any unused ones, I'd love to get them back so that way I can use them on my next fundraiser, or we can recycle them for the organization's next fundraiser. So I make it clear to them that, you know, I want my stuff back if it's not used. So, so those are probably the cons. Do you guys see any other pros or cons that you can see in fundraisers? Or for those of you guys that have done fundraisers, any pros or cons that you'd like to share?
Well, just last month, I'm going to brag a little bit. We had Jean Gallagher that's up in Blue Rapids. Jean did a fundraiser, and it was over $3,000.
Two fundraisers.
Two fundraisers, I'm sorry. Then they totaled over 3,000. 3,000 what, Carla?
Oh, Lordy, 3,000, about 3,300, I think.
3,300.
The one for the autism that song?
That took her from a certified consultant to, jumped her up to a star consultant. I mean, jumped her that much. So, It was a little overwhelming, and bless Carla's heart, Carla went up and worked with her, helped her getting in orders and everything for about 9 hours to break down the parties and everything. It does take a lot of time, but you guys, it's the best way to build yourself up and get yourself to that next level too. Carla also did one, so I mean, just my team alone, we had over 6,600 PRV points this month just from fundraisers. So that's a lot of points. So got Carla a superstar consultant and got Jean a star. So I think it's well worth it.
So personal promotions is definitely another pro. And again, you definitely want to shoot for doing those fundraisers during the incentive time. So
What is the incentive time?
the spring, like the one that's going on right now is June, July, August. No, May, June, July. May, June, July. Then August 1st till January 31st is the incentive time for the trip, the big trip. And it just depends. It's always different. The first one, the Disney trip, was completely different than the Dominican Republic trip. So we never know. At convention, they will they will tell us what the next incentive trip is. And I will tell you, they are getting bigger and better every year. Like and if you do anything for your Scentsy business, one, go to convention, and two, shoot for that incentive trip because they give us all of the qualifications. And this year, what we're going to do, we kind of talked about it. We're going to start kind of like what we had in leadership. We had accountability buddies. We're going to do like a support group for those people that are like dead set and saying, yes, I am going on this trip. Because when Scentsy says it's all inclusive, it is all inclusive. They pay for everything.
Even your home calls home.
Yeah, we even get to call home for free. So, yeah, and the mixed drinks are free. So. But like
Cabana Boys.
but like and it's not just a free trip when you get down there. Scentsy has wonderful little surprises around every corner. Like in Disney, we got to go to, we had a private viewing for the fireworks show at Epcot. We couldn't have done that. And we had a character breakfast that if I would have taken my kids, it would cost us like $500 to do a character breakfast at Disney. And Scentsy did that for us. Also, every day that we came home, or every evening we came home, there was a little gift on our bed just from Scentsy. One night it was beach towels. One night it was little glass slippers. And, it's all themed around the thing. Oh, and then in Disney, they completely closed down one of the water parks early and opened it just to us. And so we had Typhoon Lagoon just completely to us. And it was so awesome. We had a big, huge pirate party, and there was a concert, and we got little cups that said Scentsy is the life for me. Anyway, so it's so fun. So
do you think they'll ever do a family one like that again?
I think they will because they had such a great response from the last one.
Good.
So I think they will. I don't know where. Yeah. We never know where, or we can only hope and we can imagine. I'm like crossing my fingers, and I've kind of heard through other superstar directors that possibly it might be like a European vacation next time because of Scentsy expanding into Ireland and Europe and all that. So cross my fingers. Who knows? But so
go to
the cool part about
Atlantis. Take your family to Atlantis.
Yeah, how cool.
How cool that is. But yeah,
So-
that would be cool.
Yeah, and so Scentsy always gives us the rules and regulations and the ways to earn the trip. And I will tell you though, most of the time it's selling and recruiting. Those are the two things you have to do. In the past, you've been able to achieve you've been able to achieve the trips on just selling or just recruiting, but it's much easier if you do both. Also, like for the Dominican Republic trip and for the Disney, I guess, if you move up in rank, you get points towards your trip and that kind of thing. So that's kind of cool.
And if you're downline,
yeah, and then like for us that are directors, if you have people on your team that promote, you get points for that too. And so, but it'll explain it all. And that's why I say, save your fundraisers for those times because that way you're really making your PRV count, I should say. So, okay, and then as far as taxes go, with the money, because it's gonna, because you're personally writing a check, you're giving your commission away to the fundraiser. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep record of that, and then you're gonna let your accountant know, or however you do your taxes, you're gonna write it off as an advertising expense. And I say advertising expense better than a donation because your advertising, it is an advertising expense. You're putting all of your labels and all your catalogs in new customers' hands, so ultimately is an advertising cost. So it is a write-off. You definitely don't want to get stuck paying taxes on the chunk of money that you're giving away anyway. So
I need to add something to that. When you do fundraisers, the first thing you kind of really need to know is if they're a tax exempt organization. Because if they are, they don't have to pay sales tax.
nope, that's wrong. Okay, it's wrong, and it's kind of wrong, but it's kind of right. If the organization is tax exempt,
Right.
and the organization is ordering Scentsy, they don't have to pay sales tax. But if the organization is selling Scentsy to an outside customer, that outside customer is not tax exempt. We do have to charge tax on it. So I've never done a fundraiser with any tax exemption.
Well, now they had told me, because when I told about it, if you're doing a fundraiser for an organization and they can give you their, what's that form called?
They have like a code.
Yeah.
The C or whatever. If they can give you that, saying they're tax exempt, then they didn't have to pay sales tax, but then you had to call Cincy and let them know that.
The organization itself does not have to pay the taxes.
But the
Anybody else does.
What's
Yeah,
gonna
but
make
if
the
they
difference though is whether you write that check to the organization, or like the people who are.
The organization writes you one big check from the organization, is the one I did that was tax exempt. They collected all the money, deposit, and then my check
Okay, then
came from
that would
the
work.
organization.
If you have the organization write you one big check,
Right,
that
they
works,
do.
but
I think you
normally,
might could do it that way, but just to be on the safe side, I would encourage not messing with the taxes. Unless the
Okay.
organization is like dead set on it and they're like, no. But the way that I was explained when I did a training on fundraisers is that if the organization is purchasing something, then yes, they can be tax exempt.
Right.
Anybody else cannot. So anybody else, unless they have a tax ID number, and it's for resale, like if I had let's just say a wedding planner come up to me and she said, oh, I'm going to put Scentsys on every single table at the wedding, then I could sell them to her at no tax, but just to know that she's going to turn around and resell them, it's so confusing. That's why I just charge tax.
Okay, because I called Cincy when I first did my first fundraiser, and that's what they had told me.
Unless I've changed it, because when did I did the training, I don't know, about 6 months ago. And so that's what I was told on the fundraisers. So you guys can check on it, but that's how,
They told me,
to be safe, I would still just,
charge the tax and don't worry about the hassle.
yeah. And then that's another thing, like that way you're getting the checks too, and you can, like you don't have to wait for the organization to cash them and then them write you a check, then you have to turn around and write them a check, and so that way you can get all the orders collected to you, paid to you, and you write the check to the organization. I think that's how it's supposed to be set up with Scentsy, but again, it is your own fundraiser, so you can do it however you want to do it. Just like you can, yes, as long as you know what's going on. So that's good.
Right.
And same thing with the percentage, the giveaways, all that kind of stuff. It's your fundraiser, so you can do it however you want to. Tonight I was telling you how I do it and how it is successful and the reasons why I do it the way I do it. So, does anybody else have any other questions?
I do. If you offer incentives, do you lower your percentage that you give them? Like instead of 25, go to 20, and then that covers those incentives?
I don't because it is a tax write-off. So like, let's just say I go to like Walmart and I buy a $50 gift card and I can write that off. So I don't take it out of their percentage. And again, because it gets more complicated, I like to just keep it easy. Like I don't want to say that I'm going to take away from you to pay yeah. I want them to feel like I'm doing them a big favor. And so if I get them to feeling like I'm doing them a great big favor, then they're going to sell more. That's my thought process.
You could always, I think, I know you said you jump up to 30%, but I guess like if they hit over the 2,000, you could just keep it 5.
Yeah, and there's a lot of consultants that do that, yeah. There's another consultants that do that.